You know, I usually stay out of these conversations, but with Caitlin Clark, I can't stay silent anymore.
I'm sick of watching Caitlin getting attacked. If the league doesn't step up and protect her, things are going to get ugly real fast.
Alyssa Thomas, like what she does, she uses her body.
What would happen if one of the greatest players in basketball history watched the WNBA's brightest young star become the target of repeated physical play? That's the storyline surrounding the latest claims involving Michael Jordan, Alyssa Thomas, and Caitlin Clark, and it's getting people talking. Think about it for a second. Have you ever seen a professional athlete draw the kind of attention Caitlin Clark has faced throughout her career? According to the source, Michael Jordan's opinion shifted after watching that game against the Phoenix Mercury. The biggest claim is that what he witnessed changed how he viewed the situation involving Clark. The comparison comes from Jordan's own career. Back in the 1980s, he was the league's top player, and opponents often tried to slow him down with physical defense when they couldn't match his talent and basketball IQ. But the source argues Jordan sees a clear difference between that kind of championship-level competition and what he believes has happened to Clark. That's where the criticism of Alyssa Thomas becomes the focus. According to the source, Jordan described what he saw as the most cowardly act I've seen on a basketball court in decades. Yes, that's the claim being made.
When you watch this playback, you can see even before that, Alyssa Thomas knees Caitlin Clark in the groin, then puts her fist into Clark's neck, and then nearly stomps on Clark while stepping over her. The ball is already gone by the time any of that happens, and despite a ref being right there,
according to the source, Michael Jordan had a strong reaction after watching the video of Alyssa Thomas shoving Caitlin Clark from behind while Clark was trying to recover after being poked in the eye. The source says that even after competing against physical defenders like Bill Laimbeer and Dennis Rodman, Jordan viewed this situation differently. It claims he believed the play crossed the line when it came to sportsmanship and competitive integrity. The timing of the shove is also described as the biggest issue from Jordan's perspective. Before we go any further, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Getting back to it, the source says Jordan voiced an opinion that many fans had already been discussing. According to the source, he drew a clear distinction between playing tough, championship-level defense and taking a cheap shot at a player who isn't looking. The source says Jordan pointed to the physical nature of his own era, arguing that players confronted each other head-on instead of waiting until an opponent was vulnerable. It claims that's what he found most troubling about Alyssa Thomas's actions. The source also says Jordan was frustrated by Thomas's response after the incident. Instead of admitting she may have crossed the line or expressing regret, the source says Thomas responded by saying, "Damned if I do, damned if I don't." According to the source, hearing that response only made Jordan more upset. It claims he believes the greatest competitors take responsibility for their actions, especially when another player's safety could be involved. The source says Jordan viewed Thomas's comments as an attempt to avoid accountability rather than accept criticism. It also claims he associated that mindset with players who look for questionable ways to influence games instead of relying strictly on basketball ability. From there, the source shifts its focus to Caitlin Clark. It claims Jordan sees many of the same qualities in Clark that defined his own career, including her basketball IQ, clutch shooting, and ability to elevate the players around her. At the same time, the source says Jordan is concerned that Clark has to worry about cheap shots instead of focusing entirely on her game. According to the source, he believes players should challenge Clark by matching her skill, preparation, and effort rather than targeting her physically when she's most vulnerable. The source concludes by saying Jordan considers that style of play to be the worst form of basketball competition he has witnessed. According to the source, Michael Jordan's comments quickly became one of the biggest topics in the basketball world. The source says Jordan compared what Caitlin Clark is facing to the physical treatment he received during his own NBA career. At the same time, it claims he pointed out one major difference. According to the source, Jordan believes Clark is only 22 years old and is already dealing with more adversity than many athletes experience over an entire career. It also says she's carrying the responsibility of being the unquestioned face of women's basketball while handling it all. Another claim from the source that's gaining attention online is Jordan's warning about Alyssa Thomas and the league's future. According to the source, Jordan believes that if the WNBA allows players to target its biggest stars without meaningful consequences, it sends the wrong message. The source says he argued that it encourages average players to rely on questionable tactics instead of improving their basketball skills. It also claims Jordan believes that creates a dangerous example for players who are trying to raise the league's standard. According to the source, he even said young fans watching the WNBA deserve to learn about skill, hard work, and sportsmanship instead of seeing players gain an advantage through cheap tactics. The source also says one of Jordan's biggest takeaways was his prediction for Clark. It claims he believes every hard foul, cheap shot, and attempt to intimidate her will only make her more determined to prove herself through her talent. According to the source, Jordan compared Clark's situation to his own rookie season when opponents constantly tested him physically. The difference, the source says, is that Clark is also dealing with unmatched media attention and the expectations that come with being the most marketable player in WNBA history. That's why the source describes Jordan's support for Clark as being about more than just one player. It claims he sees Clark as representing the qualities that make basketball great, including talent, vision, competitiveness, and class. On the other hand, the source says he views players like Alyssa Thomas as representing behavior that could hurt the sport. According to the source, Jordan believes the WNBA has reached a crossroads. The source says he sees two possible paths: protect and promote the league's biggest stars so they can elevate the game, or continue allowing players to stay relevant through questionable tactics. It claims Jordan's message was that the choice the league makes will shape its future. That brings up the question everyone is debating. Will the WNBA follow what the source says is Michael Jordan's advice and do more to protect Caitlin Clark, or will it continue allowing players like Alyssa Thomas to compete the same way? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with what the source says about Michael Jordan's criticism of Alyssa Thomas, or do you think those comments go too far? And do you believe the WNBA will eventually take additional steps to protect its biggest star? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop them in the comments because I read through every one. If you're enjoying this kind of basketball coverage, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. According to the source, Michael Jordan's comments could end up influencing how Caitlin Clark's situation is viewed around the WNBA. The source says the basketball world is continuing to watch the story closely. As the conversation grows, it argues that this is no longer just about one game, one hard foul, or one controversial moment. Instead, the focus has shifted to the future of women's basketball, the standards the league wants to uphold, and how it protects its biggest stars. The source points out that few players have entered the WNBA carrying the level of expectations Caitlin Clark has. It notes that millions watch every game she plays, every performance is analyzed, every success is celebrated, and every setback becomes a major headline. According to the source, that's the reality of being one of the biggest names in basketball today. At the same time, veteran players continue bringing experience, pride, and competitiveness to every game. The source says the WNBA's challenge is making sure that intense competition never crosses into unnecessary or dangerous play. Fans want rivalries, physical basketball, and real competition, but they also expect fairness, respect, and consistency. According to the source, that's why Michael Jordan's comments generated so much attention. It says Jordan understands what it's like to compete under constant pressure after facing some of the toughest defenders of his era. The source claims his message wasn't simply about physical play, but about protecting the integrity of basketball and keeping the spotlight on skill instead of controversy. Whether people agree with Jordan or think the situation has been overstated, the source says his remarks have sparked a major debate. Fans, analysts, former players, and media personalities continue discussing what should happen when the league's biggest stars become the focus of physical play. Some believe officials should be stricter, while others see it as part of professional basketball. According to the source, opinions remain divided. One thing the source highlights is Caitlin Clark's response. Rather than letting criticism, physical defense, or controversy define her, it says she has continued to focus on playing basketball. The source says she keeps showing up, competing, and reinforcing why so many people believe she's a huge part of the league's future. It also points to her resilience as one of the biggest reasons her supporters continue to stand behind her. Meanwhile, the source notes that interest in the WNBA continues to grow, with expanding social media conversations, packed arenas, rising television ratings, and new fans discovering the league. It argues that moments like these affect more than just one player or one team because they influence how the WNBA is viewed around the world. As the season continues, the source says every Caitlin Clark game will receive intense attention. Every controversial play, every officiating decision, and every major moment will be closely examined. According to the source, all of it will shape what has become one of the most talked about WNBA seasons in recent memory. Now, the biggest question is yours to answer. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the source accurately reflects Michael Jordan's view of where the league stands today? Do you believe the WNBA has found the right balance between protecting its players and allowing physical, competitive basketball? And where do you think this situation leaves Alyssa Thomas, Caitlin Clark, and the league moving forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I'm genuinely interested in hearing what basketball fans around the world have to say. Your comment could even be featured in a future video, and respectful discussion is what makes this community great. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another upload. If you're looking for more basketball analysis, the latest WNBA stories, NBA legends, and coverage surrounding Caitlin Clark, your support means a lot. Thanks for watching all the way through. Basketball's story keeps evolving every single day, and the next chapter could be even bigger than this one. Until then, leave your thoughts below, subscribe to the channel, and make sure notifications are turned on so you don't miss what's next.